Alright, here's another problem that deals with some obscure units of measurements. We're told that one tuffet is equal to 2 pecks, which is equal to half an imperial bushel. I looked into it, and it looks like tuffets and pecks were English units of measurement of volume that were once used a long, long time ago. But it doesn't seem like that's the case anymore. They're very obscure and forgotten. I could hardly find any sources on these. But I do find that interesting, though, how the makers of these questions know about such obscure units. But that's not the point. The point is, we are told that the person in the problem, Miss Muffet, an obvious reference to a famous nursery rhyme, has 11 tuffets of a certain good. And our job in the problem is to convert that amount of tuffets, 11, into pecks, imperial bushels, and lastly liters. So let's try that. For this is again another simple conversion problem. So we'll want to set up some chain link conversions to do so. So let's start off with part A, which asks us to convert the 11 tuffets into pecks. Alright, so for part A, it's pretty easy. We're told directly that 1 tuffet is equal to 2 pecks. So it should follow from simple logic that to find the number of pecks with 11 tuffets, you'll just want to multiply that by 2. But for the sake of illustration of concepts and for the sake of practice, I just showed it as a chain link conversion as well, just to further illustrate how that works. Because as we can see, we're taking 11 tuffets and multiplying it by the ratio, except I'm making sure to put tuffets in the denominator so our units cancel out here. So of course we just end up with 11 multiplied by the number of pecks, which is 2 for that ratio. So the number of pecks we get for that is going to be 22 pecks. Now let's move on to part B, which asks us to convert the 11 tuffets into imperial bushels. Alright, so once again, this is a pretty simple conversion because we know that a tuffet is equal to half an imperial bushel. So again, you might figure out just from very simple logic that you'll just divide 11 tuffets into half. But again, just for the same reason, I just decided to show it as a chain link conversion again instead. So once again, writing out the ratio here, I abbreviated it into IB to make it easier to write. And once again, putting the tuffet part of the ratio into the bottom so that the denominators will cancel out. And this gives us an answer of 5.5 IB, or 5.5 imperial bushels, if we're converting from, if we have 11 tuffets. And for the final part of the problem, we'll want to do effectively the exact same process, except we're converting from tuffets, 11 tuffets, into liters. Alright, part C is a little bit trickier because the conversion rate is a little bit less intuitive than with multiplying it by 2 or dividing it by 2. But in this case, it's still not that hard either, because we are given the conversion from liters to imperial bushels. And in the previous part of the problem, we found a conversion from tuffets into imperial bushels, where we found out that 11 tuffets will be equal to 5.5 imperial bushels. So just as a little shortcut, I decided to start out with the imperial bushels because there's not much benefit other than practice, I guess, of writing out this whole conversion again. So I started out by saying that 11 tuffets is equal to 5.5 imperial bushels, and then added the conversion rate, the conversion factor, between 1 imperial bushel to the number of liters. And again, I made sure to put the imperial bushels in the denominator so that they would cancel out, and I'll just end up with liters. I forgot to add a little unit there, but that is important. So now I'll be converting from 5.5 IB into liters. And because of the very specific decimal point, because of the very precise value we're given here, I'm just going to round it down to a single significant figure. And this gives us a number of liters of about 200 liters. And that is how we would do this last part of the problem.